Today is the second webinar of our three-part March Demo Day series. The theme today, advanced technologies, and 4 companies will present: MyXR, Tala, BN Nano, and Dashable, in that order if you're interested. Yesterday, 3 companies presented in the medtech and biotech spaces: C-Reveal Therapeutics, Red Oak Instruments, and Phoenix Pharma Labs. That webinar was recorded and is available on the Netcapital YouTube page. I will add a link to that shortly. Tomorrow, the party keeps going. 3 more companies will present, this time in the consumer goods and technology space. That will be Hubside, Greenbox Robotics, and Mosquito Steve. So please join us again tomorrow to keep the good times rolling. As I mentioned today, I'm excited to welcome MyXR, Tala, BN Nano, and Dashable. As always, each of these companies is actively raising capital on the Netcapital platform. I have added a link to each in the chat feature provided by Zoom. Steve Wilkinski, why don't you come on in and tell us about what you've built at BN Nano? Thanks.
Sure, thank you. First of all, thank you to Netcapital for giving us the opportunity to present tonight at Demo Days. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm also the CEO of BN Nano. And BN Nano we're an advanced manufacturing company that's based in North Carolina. So we're a little different. We're on the technology side of things. We're a manufacturer. So we make things as opposed, we're not involved in software in any way. So we're a little bit of an outlier these days. What we manufacture is a nanomaterial. It's an enhanced version of what's called a boron nitride nanotube. And we've enhanced it in such a way that we've even branded it. We call it the nanobarb. And I'll talk briefly about what that means here shortly. Today, we are actually the only company in the world with a viable process to manufacture any type of boron nitride nanotube at all. And what that means is it gives us the opportunity to transform, revitalize, and revolutionize industrial commodities. And that's a fancy way of saying we want to make things that have lost value over the years better. We have the opportunity through our material, because of the properties that it possesses, things like the fact that it's stronger than steel, or that it is thermally stable above 850 degrees C, or that it can move heat but block electricity. We have the ability to turn normal things into extraordinary things. And what that means is by adding a little bit of our material to other things, we make them better, we make them lighter, we make them stronger. That means we can make aluminum as strong as steel or titanium, and even tougher than carbon fiber. We can add our material to copper and make it an advanced thermal management material to help make your cell phones and your laptops run better. We can turn polyester into a material that behaves more like Kevlar. We can make heat sinks out of plastic. We can make environmentally friendly fire prevention chemistries. And we can introduce new capabilities into water purifications. And we can even enable new technologies, new applications, like things like hypersonic travel. And we can enable humans to have extended time in space as we try to go back to the moon and even explore Mars. But we think, without getting too technical, we do think it's important to kind of give an overview of what a nanotube is and why it's special. And what we want to do is start with just a simple analogy. If you just think back in history, when the pyramids were being built, they had to add straw to the clay so that the bricks would be strong enough to build the pyramids. Without adding the straw to the clay, the bricks would not be able to support such a large and heavy structure. Essentially, what we have is we have a very high-tech straw, and our customers have very high-tech clays and very high-tech bricks. So just by adding our material to something, it makes it stronger, it makes it better. The second part of this is it's important to think of a nanotube as something like a drinking straw. It's a very long, hollow tube that's very smooth. Now, if you could imagine putting that drinking straw into, say, a clump of Play-Doh, while it may make the Play-Doh stiffer and a little bit stronger, you have no problem pulling that straw in and out of the clay so that you could lose its support very easily. So when we were working on our nanomaterial, we wanted to fix that problem. And we looked to things that you deal with every day for inspiration. We looked at rebar and concrete. If you look at rebar, it is not smooth, it's textured, and it's textured in such a way so that it can really lock into the concrete and not slip out. So we set about changing the nanotube. We wanted to change that smooth surface and turn it into something that looked more like, say, rock candy, which was very jagged. And the picture that you see on the right is magnified close to 1 million times. And you can clearly see that our nanotubes now have this jagged surface, which will make it stay into the materials even better. So if you imagine this material being surrounded by that clump of Play-Doh, there's no way you're going to be able to pull it out easily. And that's one of the benefits of the nanobarb. Well, so what do we do? What do we sell? Do we actually sell yet? So yeah, we do. We sell. We're post-revenue. We actually started selling our initial materials back in 2018. And the primary product that we sell is the nanobarb powder itself. This is something that our customers add to what they're making to make it lighter, to make it stronger, to make it better. If we have a customer that is uncomfortable with selling or with using a nanomaterial themselves, we also have the ability to premix into epoxies, resins, or whatever chemistries they want us to do for them. Then we get into some of the more advanced products that we have. We have two products that are designed to service the metal industries. And these are designed to be added to molten metal. The first one is called the aluminum master alloy, and this is added to molten aluminum to make aluminum lighter and stronger. You can use this with any alloy, so you have a lot of opportunities to introduce lots of strengthening properties. We also have a copper master alloy that we add to copper, molten copper, to improve the thermal properties. So these are two ways that we have made it easier for our customers to use our materials. And then finally, we have the ability to compound, to mix, to blend our materials into custom compounds for our customers. And that includes things like nylon, polyester, polycarbonate, other metals, and even silicones and rubbers, which was a question that was asked earlier. And then these products are applicable and very advantageous for a lot of different markets. And the really interesting thing here to note is that it is one product. We have one version of the nanobarb powder, and it services all of these markets and these customers. The same product can be used for water, for composites, for additive manufacturing, for energy space, fire, a lot of different applications. In many cases, it sounds almost too good to be true. But where we focus as a company is, first of all, we focus as the additive material, the raw material of selling the nanobarb itself. That's an $8 billion a year market. And again, that is used to add to other things to make them lighter, to make them stronger and better. When you get into our aluminum master alloy, that's a $200 billion market on its own. And there, what we're doing is, again, we're competing with steels, with titanium, with carbon fiber, and other exotic materials that are used in a variety of applications. The thermal management segment, which includes the copper master alloy, is in excess of 20 billion a year. And then when we get into some of the more unique applications, the fire prevention and the water filtration, all of those are both greater than $1 billion. And again, our customers service many additional markets. But the key thing here, again, is one product. The one nanomaterial that we make has the opportunity to service all of these different markets. So we are, I'm sorry?
Oh, and look at you wrapping up, but I was just going to say last moment here.
Yep. So we are, we're on Netcapital. We started raising funds in mid-February. We're at about $215,000 now. We think Netcapital is an excellent opportunity for us to raise the capital that we need to really expand the company and to grow. We would invite you to see our offering page to get more information about our company, our team, and our products. We also invite questions. And if we don't get the opportunity to answer them here today, please post them on the discussion board and we'll answer them as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Steve. I guess I'm getting a little trigger happy on that timing. I'm sorry, Matt and Steve. I'm rushing you guys off. You have perfect timing, so I apologize. Great questions are coming in already, and you did touch on two of them, but just to make sure that everybody's perfectly clear, people do want to know, can your product be added to copper? Can your product be added to rubber or silicone? And if it can it be applied to tires in the automobile industry? So kind of a three-part question there.
Sure. So the copper certainly, and that's one of our products. And what we've done with the copper master alloy is we essentially, through powder metallurgy and using our material, we pre-mix the nanobarbs in the copper. We press them into a pellet that is about the size of 2 nickels stacked together. And then the customers that we deal with that are making things out of copper will then just add those pellets to achieve the desired concentration of our material in their melt, and then they process it as normal. And most, if not all, of the application that we've worked on copper thus far have been for thermal materials and thermal management. Yes, we can add to copper, or yes, we can add to rubber and silicone. One of the challenges we have is that a lot of the custom work that we do is protected under NDA with our customers. So all that we can say at this point is, yes, we can do it. Tires is an application of interest. And there are some publications that you can refer to in the academia to sort of highlight what can be done with boron nitride nanotubes in those materials.
And then lastly, sorry, Tom, before you hop in here, adding on another kind of automobile contingent or adjacent section, anything that you can add about brake lining really fast?
Yeah, so it's another big area of interest because we can dissipate heat so quickly and are so stable at high temperatures. It is absolutely something of interest for both the brake pads is where we've done more work than anywhere else, and also the fire retardant capabilities can also help some of the brake pads get very hot and not catch on fire.
Thanks, Steve. And to parlay off Eric's question, we're seeing a couple come in regarding milestones, and when this is so applicable to so many different areas. Can you talk about a little bit about what are some of the next major milestones for BN Nano?
Certainly. So we have, we have the IP. The IP is ours. We have the process to develop the products. So we are actively selling the products. Our milestones right now are more in the line of getting our customers out of the qualification process and into the production. So that is one of the things that we're preparing for growth. The other things that we are doing is we just announced, I think last week or the week before, that we passed a milestone where we are opening a research and development facility in South Carolina. And then we are getting ready to announce a distribution agreement with a company in the EU to help us handle distribution throughout the European community. And then we are looking to really, I would say, solidify and finalize some strategic partnerships. So most of the milestones we are striving for are now just really growing the business and growing the revenues.
Great. And last piece here, and I'm going to try to tie it together. People are asking us specific about, are you able to, I think, synthesize BNNT with controlled defects to improve their, I think it's piezoelectric properties? Don't quote me on that.
So we haven't done a lot of work on piezoelectric ourselves, but the process that we have, we like to refer to as elegantly simple. And we don't use catalysis or any other really contaminants. So we have a very, very pure material. It is a boron nitride nanotube that is plated with hexagonal boron. So it is free of defects, with the exception of there might be some hexagonal boron nitride plates that have broken off, if you will, from the nanotube itself. So it's a very high purity.
Perfect. And lastly, when it comes to the competitive landscape, and I know your intellectual property strategy is around not so much about patent, but about trade secrets. So as much as you're able to share, can you talk about how your cost comparison is to other materials in the space and what the competitive landscape looks like?
Sure. So we have patented the morphology. So the nanobarb, having those plates on the outside of the nanotube is sort of fundamentally what's behind our patents. The process is trade secret protected. That is true. Fundamentally, the competitive landscapes, there are a few companies around the world that say they sell, but they only can sell grams, where we can sell kilograms or as much as a customer wants. And in many cases, you can go onto the competitors' websites and see their pricing. We're typically at least 10, if not 100x less than their costs at a significantly higher purity. So we right now not only are the only company in the world that can give you mass quantities of the material, we're magnitudes cheaper and our quality is higher.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Steve, why don't you come up on here and tell us why is now the perfect time to go to netcapital.com and invest in BN Nano?
Now's the perfect time to invest in BN Nano because we're a team that's really passionate about what we do. We have a product that is disruptive and actually has the potential to not only change the world, but change the way we explore space. We're in a fantastic position. We're the only company in the world that can make this material. And this material has been called out by organizations like NASA and the Air Force as necessary to do the things that we need to do this century. But we're the only company that can make high volumes. And we also have the lowest prices. We have the highest quality. We've got the best material out there. I would say, please visit our offering page to see more details. It is a highly technical product. We're glad to answer any questions. And I would also have to add before we leave, if anyone out there is considering working with Netcapital to raise funding, they have been absolutely phenomenal. They've exceeded our expectations and we can't recommend them high enough. Thank you.